everyone, and welcome to the vintage side. In this video I will be making 3 oatmeal recipes. The first is called Oatmeal Muffins and it was published in the Australian Women's Mirror in July of 1934. For this recipe we will need butter, sugar, eggs, oatmeal, milk and self-raising flour. To make the muffins we need to cream together the butter and sugar, then add the egg. Then mix in the flour and then add the oatmeal alternatively with the milk. Bake on a slide in a moderate oven for 20 to 30 minutes. Now these muffins are an oatmeal English type muffin, the flat muffin that you cut in half and you can toast and have for breakfast. I cooked the muffins at 180 degrees Celsius in a fan forced oven and they did take around 28 minutes, so the recipe was correct. Here they are, all lovely and golden. So the muffin mostly held together while cutting. We did have a little bit of fallout. I'm going to try the muffins plain and then I'm going to try them with butter. They do have a sweetness to them. They are nice and soft. You'd get the oatmeal taste, which gives you a suggestion of porridge, but they're quite pleasant. These are quite soft, and I've just found that buttering them with butter that is not completely soft and spreadable, it does pull up the crumb, and they are a little bit hard to butter. But if they were toasted, wouldn't be a problem. The more I eat these, the more I'm enjoying them. I think they are kind of like a scone crossed with a muffin. They're delicious. I think these would be great with honey or jam, and if you wanted to go a little bit extra, you could definitely put jam and cream on these like you do with scones. It would be delicious. This next recipe is for rolled oat scones. It was published in the Australian Women's Mirror in December 1932. It was submitted by Mrs. Rob L. from Bungalow in New South Wales. For the scones, we will need 2 cups of flour, half a cup of rolled oats, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a pinch of salt, which is in our flour, a tablespoon of butter dissolved in hot water, and a mixture of milk and cream. To make our scones, we need to mix together the flour, baking powder, oats and salt. Then mix in our butter and milk and cream until it is the consistency of a scone dough. Pat out the dough with hands on a floured surface and form the scones. Bake in a hot oven till light brown. I will be baking these at 190 to 200. The higher temperature helps the scones to rise quickly and that way you get nice fluffy scones. Here are the scones straight out of the oven. I baked them at 200 degrees Celsius in a fan forced oven. They have taken about 30 minutes. Here we have a nice warm scone with melted butter and let's have a taste. Well, these are really tasty. They didn't rise as much as I thought they would, but that's because of the gluten-free flour. They still have a great taste. They're still nice and soft, and of course, taste fantastic with melted butter on them. You get that hint of the oats, which is really nice. When you make these, do keep an eye on your own oven and watch them after the 15-20 minute mark because everyone's oven is different. And if you're using wheat flour, again, you will get a different result and they will cook a bit faster. But I would definitely recommend this recipe. This next recipe is called Oaten Pies. It was published in the Australian Women's Mirror in July of 1933. This recipe was submitted by a reader called Perry from Morwell in Victoria. For this recipe, we will need flour, oats, milk, butter, and a filling of your choice. I am using stewed apples. To make the oaten pies, we need to mix the rolled oats with the self-raising flour. Then rub in our butter and mix with some milk until it forms a stiff paste. Our paste is another word for dough. We need to roll out the dough quite thin and then line patty tins with a layer of dough. Place a teaspoon of our chosen mixture onto the dough and then cover the little pie with a top. Press the edges together, brush over a little milk and a sprinkling of sugar and bake for 5 to 10 minutes in a quick oven around 180 degrees Celsius. Here are the Oaten Pies just out of the oven. They took much longer than the 5 to 10 minutes that the recipe stated. They ended up taking 30 minutes in a fan forced oven at 180 degrees Celsius. I left them in for 30 minutes because the color wasn't changing and I wanted them to get a nice golden brown color. I will let these cool just a little bit so that I can take them out of the tin without burning myself, and then I will have a taste. I think that these little pies are just so cute, and if we just break it open, we've got our lovely apple filling with pastry. These pies are quite good. On their own, they are a bit bland. I would next time, because I definitely will be making these again, next time I will add a little bit more moisture to the pastry and a little bit of flavour to the pastry. The pastry is not flavourless, but it's not bursting with flavour. The apple, of course, is delicious. It's cooked apple, and that helps with the dryness of the pastry. If you wanted to use this pastry recipe and put another filling, this pastry would work with many fillings because it's not overpowering. You could put any filling in these that you like. So for Christmas, you could put the traditional mincemeat into those, the dried fruit and the peel and the figs and the dates and the spices, and they would be Christmas pies. The pastry does hold together really well. It is a good solid pastry. It's not falling apart, and also with the pastry it doesn't have any egg, so if you substitute the butter and the milk for plant-based alternatives, then these pies would be 100% vegan. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.